What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV back here for another international roundup, and that is the last we're seeing of the internationals from now until the end of the season. So now we can concentrate on the real business end of the season in search of that top four. The World Cup qualifiers are not completely done, but most teams now have qualified that are going to qualify. We're going to take you through the roundup of yesterday's international games, every game that had a Spurs player in it. And let's start off with one actually we brought you yesterday, but I'm going to re-talk about it, seeing if anyone missed out on it. But that was Sierra Leone 2, Congo 1 in a friendly where Callum Casey scored 2 goals. You asked me the question yesterday, what position is he? And I looked into it, and he's actually a right back, can play left back as well, but he's a full back and scored 2 goals on his international debut.
Could do with the right back. Yeah. He can attack. Maybe time to give him a chance. But look, yeah, as I said, 19 years of age, scoring twice in his debut as a teenager, international level is very impressive. So very, very happy for him. Hopefully he has a bright future. We'll see what happens come the end of the season. Yeah.
Let's move on. Let's talk about South Korea now. They lost 1-0 to United Arab Emirates with HeungMin Son playing 90 minutes on the day, but it didn't really make a difference to anything because South Korea already qualified for Qatar. But that is their final game of the group stages. So Sonny, it's going to be good to see Sonny in South Korea. Shame he couldn't get the win or a goal to his name yesterday. But yeah, it was a nothing game really.
Yeah, and he was at the last World Cup. Obviously, scored against Germany, didn't he, in the 2-0 win for South Korea, and I believe he scored against Mexico as well. So he will be looking forward to another chance to represent his country. We all know how much Son loves South Korea and how much he loves representing them. So big tournament coming up for him and his country. But yeah, yesterday didn't quite happen for him.
Moving on to Denmark against Serbia, which finished 3-0 to Denmark in a friendly. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg only getting 66 minutes, but grabbing himself an assist on the night. But Christian Eriksen back in the goals, 79 minutes on the pitch, and he got a brilliant goal, wasn't it? Classic Christian Eriksen.
Yeah, reminiscent. I remember he scored a goal at home to Leicester in the Premier League game at Wembley. Carbon copy of that, just arrowed it in with a bit of dip into the near,
just that little touch to the right and bang.
Excellent from Eriksen. He looks like he's back at it with a point to prove that he's ready to still play at the top level.
Bring him home, man.
Honestly, he looks like he's better than ever at the moment. So yeah. fair play to him. Another great goal.
Bring him home. I mean, tell me, can we sign a better player with the attributes that he has, you know, the creative attributes that he has, the shooting attributes he has, the kind of set piece attributes he has, anywhere close to Christian Eriksen's, what he has?
Not his best, definitely not. And he's showing those levels at the moment since he's come back, and he's playing great for Brentford as well. So I would take him back for sure.
All right, let's move on in a big game from Africa, which is Senegal against Egypt in a World Cup playoff. Senegal won on penalties, coming back from behind from the first leg to knock out Egypt, which was the polar opposite of what happened in the African Cup of Nations. Papa Sarr did come on in extra time to help Senegal seal the win. Obviously, he didn't take a penalty or anything. But what it came down to was the penalties, and the funny thing about it was literally lasers shining on all the Egypt players as they were about to take each and every one of their penalties, and obviously that stopped every time Senegal took up to take a penalty. But Senegal going to the World Cup, and Mo Salah, who a lot of people saying is the best player in the world at the moment, is not going to be there.
You said polar opposites of what happened in the Cup of Nations.
Sorry, it's the same thing.
Same thing. Yeah, because I thought they won. Yeah, so it was great watch us watching the highlights and all the lasers and all that kind of stuff. Fans, that's what fans can do. Try and take every advantage they can to try and get the result. And obviously, the lasers, you can't condone it because it's not something that's very sportsmanlike, but they'll do anything they can to make sure that they're unsettling the opponent, and it 100% worked. Salah blazed his penalty over the bar, didn't get anywhere near it, and those lasers must have had an effect on him for sure. But yeah, he won't be going.
Yeah. Let's move on to Holland against Germany. 1-1 in a friendly out in Holland. And that man, Stevie B, he just cannot stop scoring at the moment. And you got to say, I mean, the guy is on firing form. Every time he's on the pitch, he's performing well at the moment. Ever since Antonio Conte came into the club, he seems to be a big goal threat. He came on with half an hour left to play. 10 minutes in, gets himself a goal with a lovely poacher's finish. And surely he's got to get his chance at Tottenham sooner rather than later.
Yeah, but who do you drop?
That's the thing. Yeah.
Can't really drop anyone. So he has to be patient for his chance. But great finish. Very similar to the finish, his first goal against Leicester. Just smashing it home, making sure he hits the target. And it's something I've noticed actually after that goal. Like, if you look at all the goals he's scored pretty much since Conte's been appointed, all very much strikers' positions and strikers' finishing. And that's something that Conte has been saying, that, you know, he sees Bergwijn as a potential number 9, back up to Kane. And, you know, his 2 goals against Leicester, very central, very striker position, against the West Ham in the Cup, also very central, poacher's finish. His first goal against Denmark was a header from around the penalty spot. And again, yesterday, another poacher's finish. So he's starting to get those strikers' instincts, I think.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And you know, as Conte said, he can be a suitable backup for Harry Kane for that number 9 role, and he's proving that for club and country at the moment. So I'd like to see him get more minutes, and maybe not even to start, but to come on and get more minutes, because even when he comes on, he only gets a few minutes here and there at the moment. So maybe, you know, it's a good opportunity for the likes of maybe Harry Kane or HeungMin Son or even Kulusevski to get a bit of rest in the latter parts of games, maybe. But we'll see.
Depends how the games are going, I guess.
Yeah, of course. But let's move on to the Irish game. Ireland against Lithuania in a friendly. Matt Doherty played 90 minutes, and I was watching the Irish Hotspurs watch along a bit yesterday for this, and they were complaining about Doherty literally all game long. Apparently, he had a shocker. I didn't see much of it, but I did turn it on.
Talk about our Doherty like that.
That's why I went in the comments and I was like, how can you blaspheme against Matt Doherty? But Troy Parrott came on with half an hour to go, and that's when I actually turned on the game, and he looked good with some nice silky touches. He played one of the Irish players in for a disallowed goal, which was really nice play from him, and then gets his goal in the 97th minute, 7th minute of stoppage time, with a lovely finish from the edge of the box, firing it into the back of the net. Troy Parrott gets his first goal on the international stage before he gets it on the Premier League stage.
Yeah, and what a finish it was. 97th minute, deep into injury time, to step up like that when Ireland needed a goal was very, very impressive, and it was a great finish. Powered it in from just outside the D as well, right into the bottom corner. It flashed away from the keeper before you could even see it. And Lithuania, and they're not the best team, you know, they're not like San Marino or anything, they're a bit of a level above that. So fair play to him. It's a very good goal for a young player, and hopefully he takes that confidence. He's obviously very confident from his League One form right now for MK Dons. He's playing very, very well. Just won Player of the Month. So his confidence seems to be building, and hopefully he can start making an impact sooner rather than later. I'm very happy for him.
Absolutely, and be so good if he can kickstart his career now, because obviously whatever happened in the last couple of years wasn't really going that right for him. But it seems as though the right noises are coming out from the Parrott camp, and you know he seemed to be making the right moves on the pitch for MK Dons and now Ireland as well. So big up Troy Parrott, and you need to keep going on this trajectory. Next up is England against Ivory Coast. Finished 3-0 on the day to England. Serge Aurier getting 2 bookings inside the space of 10 minutes. Classic Serge. The latter one for dissent, which the Ivory Coast management surely are not going to be happy about that one. And from a captain as well. Yeah. It's really not good enough. And yeah, he gets sent off in the first half. Harry Kane comes on with half an hour to go. I have no idea what was the need for him to come on with half an hour to go. There was one challenge that went into him and he started limping for a second. And I was like, oh God, what's happening here? But he did finish the game without any struggles in his movement. So hopefully that's okay. But yeah, I just didn't feel, I don't know why the guy came on.
Because he's a captain and he has to play every game, and they rely on him. There's no other. I don't know. We're 2-0 up. Exactly. They're down to 10 men. What can you learn about bringing on Harry Kane in that? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. But I guess the big talking point from this game was Harry Maguire being booed.
Yeah.
And all the players coming out on social media after the game to say how they condemn the booing and how they're sticking behind their teammate and stuff like that. I guess, and then it's created a bit of a wider conversation of when is it okay to boo your own players, or is it ever okay? What's your opinion?
I think that it's okay in certain situations. I'm not a fan of booing particular players. The only player I think I've ever booed in a Spurs shirt is Hossam Ghali after he threw down the shirt at Martin Yole. I probably would have booed Tanguy and Ndombele if I was there that day when he just was just walking off like no one's business against Morecambe. And obviously, the likes of like Sol Campbell and people like that when they come back.
That's former players, though,
yeah. But I'm not a fan of booing current players. I'm really not, unless they do something really bad. And I don't think Maguire fell in that well. I'm pretty certain of it. Maguire does not fall under that category.
Don't know why. Don't know why. Why is he being moved? Just 'cause he's playing badly? Is that why?
And he's not even playing badly for England. He's playing badly for Man United.
So I don't get it. I don't understand this whole booing thing.
Like, I get the conversation of Harry Maguire. Maybe he's not playing well enough to be called up for England or to be in the England squad. But to boo him, I don't really get that.
And also, I think it has a negative effect on the rest of the team. You can see they all obviously acknowledged it. They've all heard it, and they all don't like it. And so why would the players they will have they'll lose a bit of respect for certain fan bases when that kind of starts happening, I think.
The fact of the matter is, right, like Harry Maguire, whether you like him or you hate him or whatever, he's given a lot to England over the past couple of years, over the past since he's broken into the team. He's performed at a really high level. Really high. He was very central to everything that we did in the World Cup, very central to everything that we did at the Euros. So I think the England fans in the stadium yesterday just got to have a bit of
I think they let themselves down.
Yeah, a bit of grace about them, you know what I mean? There was no need for that.
It was silly. It was so unnecessary, and I'm glad the England players called it out. But yeah, no need for it. Just pointless. I don't. Just
having said all that though, Eric Dier should be on the pitch instead of him.
Damn right. Boo. No, I'm joking, but it doesn't make sense.
No, I agree. So that's that. Let's move on to another World Cup playoff, which was Poland against Sweden, which finished 2-0 to Poland tonight, which means Sweden are out of the World Cup. They will not be going to Qatar. Kulusevski will be getting a nice long rest this summer, and he played 90 minutes. I mean, I think you watched a bit of it, didn't you?
Yeah, he was playing on the right-hand side for most of the game, was struggling to get involved, to be honest. Sweden, look at that Swedish team. You think they, Forsberg, Isaac, Kulusevski, Quaison, you think they got some decent players, but they didn't hurt Poland at all. And they couldn't get in the game, and it was an easy game for Poland in the end. They won 2-0. And Kulusevski, I have to say, he played 90 minutes, I think, but he was fairly anonymous.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the South Americans as Chile lost to Uruguay 2-0 with Rigo Bentancur playing 90 minutes. Uruguay having safe passage to the World Cup. And Chile not going to be at the World Cup, which is,
Wow.
some big. I mean, when's the last? Chile have been there the last few times, haven't they?
Definitely. They're usually one of the always there with that kind of team. They usually have some decent performances as well, but I think they had a golden generation, didn't they, with Sanchez and Vidal and Isla and these kind of players, and they're all just kind of gotten older now, and maybe the new crop aren't quite as good, and maybe that's just the scenario. So there'll be a big miss because they're usually a lot of fun at the World Cup, but not going to be there.
And another team that are not going to be at the World Cup is Davinson Sanchez and Colombia. They beat Venezuela last night 1-0 in a World Cup qualifier, but that is not enough to see them through to Qatar. So Colombia, also another team who are usually at the World Cup, out.
Wow, that's also very surprising. Colombia, usually a very good team. So also big surprise. Obviously, we knocked them out at the last World Cup, but obviously a lot of their players been centered around James Rodriguez, hasn't it? And he just hasn't been.
Yesterday.
He scored, but he just hasn't been the same level, has he, over the past few years, like he was, like when they last did really well in the World Cup.
And when you think about it, I mean, England played Colombia quite regularly in the World Cup, when you think about it. 1998, we played Colombia, Carlos Valderrama's team. We beat them on penalties, didn't we, in the last World Cup? And did we play them in the World Cup before that as well?
2014? I don't think so. Colombia. Don't believe so.
Well, either way, we've played them twice in since I can remember. So, yeah.
Luis Diaz as well.
Luis Diaz. So the Liverpool players getting a nice little break this time with Salah and Diaz.
Exactly. And Sanchez won't be able to put himself in the shop window.
Yeah. All right, let's go. Last but not least, England under 19s as they face Portugal in a Euros qualifier. Dane Mbappe back on the score sheet. 2 goals for England in the 2-0 win. And that's 3 goals in actually 2 games, because he didn't play in the last game. So 3 goals in 2 games for Dane Scarlett for the England under-19s.
We've had a lot of goals this international break, haven't we, for our youngsters and our current first-team players. So great to see everyone getting in on the act and going away on international duty in confident mood. Another 2 goals for Dane Scarlett. We'll keep the people talking about him. So fantastic stuff. Can't wait for Dane to get, just like Troy. Maybe we've got a strike partnership that's going to go down for the ages.
The way I look at Troy Parrott, though, is like I look at him more as like more of a number 10 kind of player than a number 9 kind of player. The way when I look at him play, he looks like he's got really good link-up play. And maybe without that kind of dynamite pace and dynamite finishing, well, I haven't seen him finish too much, but Dane looks like that classic number 9.
Could be a bit of a Keenan Defoe partnership. Wasn't the best, but maybe they can be better.
All right, well, that is our international roundup to where you can tell every Tottenham player that played yesterday for their international team. Finally, the international break is over. We can concentrate back on Tottenham Hotspur now. Touch wood that nobody comes back with injuries. It looks as though that we are with a clean bill of health from this international break, but anything can come around, can't it? But that is our international roundup. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any thoughts regarding any of these games we've talked about today. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always, come on you Spurs.